Dame, did that event ever want you to find out exactly who was behind it and what happened, or did you block all the theories that people were presenting behind it? Or was it like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it and find out exactly what happened?
I mean, I knew what happened, so I didn't have to get to the bottom of it.
I want you to think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce.
Dame did that event ever want you to find out exactly who was behind it and what happened, or did you block all the theories that people were presenting behind it? Were you, or was it like, I'm going to get to the bottom of it and find out exactly what happened? I mean, I knew what happened, so I didn't have to get to the bottom of it. I want you to think about this scene. Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce's called Baby Girl, better known as Aaliyah, by Kathy, and Aaliyah's sources claiming that Aaliyah was hesitant to get on the plane. The day of the plane crash, the source says that Aaliyah was given a sleeping pill and carried onto the plane unconscious before the fatal crash happened in the Bahamas. There's been a growing buzz around the idea that Aaliyah's tragic death might not have been an accident after all new evidence is emerging. And it looks like 2024 could finally be the year Aaliyah gets the justice she deserves, so Dame Dash is now speaking out about the suspicious circumstances surrounding Aaliyah's death, and fans are rallying for the case to be reopened this year. But that's just the beginning. Rumor has it that Dame has hired investigators to look into Diddy and Jay-Z's alleged involvement in Aaliyah's untimely demise. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright has thrown her support behind Dame's claims, suggesting that Jay-Z used music director Hype Williams to carry out a plan to eliminate Aaliyah. Now, these are some very serious accusations. But there are definitely aspects of Aaliyah's official death story that raise eyebrows. I mean, just the fact that she was given a sleeping pill and carried on that plane while unconscious is a huge red flag. And then when you factor in Jay-Z's close friendship with R. Kelly, who notoriously married Aaliyah illegally when she was just a teenager, and Diddy's alleged history of providing people with substances to incapacitate them, it's no wonder people are speculating about foul play. So what exactly has Dame Dash been saying about Jay-Z and Diddy's potential links to Aaliyah's death? Does he have concrete proof that these two were behind baby girl's tragic end? Let's break it down. A lot of things I've been saying and exposing years ago. No, I'm saying until just now. So if you remember, I was beefing with Harvey Wist, I'm beefing with Leo, I'm beefing with Steve Stoute. Most of the people that I'm beefing with, and I'm saying beefing because they're conspiring together, having meetings about how to put me out of business and stop my cash flow. That's actually happened. Do you believe in accountability? Of course, that's what's happening. So wouldn't you want to hold people accountable for what they did to Aaliyah? Yeah, it's been over 20 years since we lost Aya, the princess of R&B, in that tragic plane crash, yet her fans are still calling for her case to be reopened, especially with new evidence suggesting that her death might have been orchestrated by some major R&B indie players. Anyone who remembers Aaliyah in her prime knows that she was in a league of her own. Aaliyah had it all. She could sing, dance, and act. Plus, she had the brains, beauty, and humility to match. But sadly, on August 25, 2001, Aaliyah's life was tragically cut short at just 22 years old in a mysterious plane crash in the Bahamas. Plane, just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Investigators now saying one of the engines apparently failed along with the passengers. Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress. So to give you some background, on August 21, 2001, Aaliyah appeared on BET and revealed that she was about to start shooting the music video for Rockboat the very next day with Hype Williams director They So Good on the countdown. Then we got to know what the next video is, and I hope you're saying it's the song I love. Yes, it is. It's Rock the Boat. It's Rock the Boat. Yeah, now, when can we expect that I shoot the video tomorrow? As a matter of fact, okay, and that video should be out, we're hoping, like beginning of September. So on August 22nd, Aaliyah flew to Miami, where Hype Williams had set up a green screen set to film dance routines and underwater shots. But for some unknown reason, Hype suddenly decided to move the entire production to the Bahamas. And on August 23rd, Aaliyah and the Virgin Records crew boarded a plane to the island. Now, here's the kicker: Hype never explained why he had this sudden change of heart. They had everything they needed in Miami: top-notch screen setups, beautiful beaches, the whole nine. Not only that, but Aaliyah's ex Dame Dash later revealed that Aaliyah did not want to go to the Bahamas because she was terrified of flying, but Hype apparently made her feel like she couldn't say, "No, you didn't want her to go, did you know so?" She was shooting a video in Miami, and I had my son and my nephews with me, and you know she was very supportive. She particularly liked Freeway, his voice, and she was supportive of anything I was doing. She was like, "Yo, while I'm in Miami, I had the state property down there, which was a group, yeah, and she was going to do a record with Freeway." So I was like, "All right, I'm G to come down there. I'll check you. I'll bring the kids, make a vacation work the whole night." So when we got there, Hype was making this video. And I was like, "I know I just got off of a big pimping where I had to cut the video, you know what I mean, 'cause he likes spend breed." So I was like, he's going to make you do another day. Don't do it, trust me, it's just so he can spend money. And sure enough, she came home that day, and I had a big house. I rent this house. And she's like, "I'm going to, bed." And I was like, "I just thought that it wasn't necessary. I knew that was going to happen." And then when she actually saw the plane, we had the Blackberries. And she said, "I don't like this plane." And I was like, "Well, don't get on it." And she was like, "Well, I got to because I got work to do." She got on the plane. And she always had a very serious fear of planes in general, so she had to overcome a fear to get on that plane. But that's not all. According to Dame Lenny Kravitz, who has family in the Bahamas, offered Aaliyah his private jet. But Hype stepped in and took that offer away from her, and to this day, he still hasn't explained why he did that. But what I was really more tight about was that I had heard that Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet, and then Hype took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about this situation when I heard about that. So you could ask Hype about that. Have you ever talked to Hype about it? Yeah. And how did that conversation go? Ask her. But I also am asking you, yeah, but ask him. But the sketchiest part is the fact that they literally plied Aaliyah with some substances until she passed out, and then carried her on the plane unconscious. And that was after she specifically said she did not want to get on that plane. Now, that alone is worth a lawsuit. If you ask me, journalist Kathy Lowley dropped this bombshell in her 2021 biography of Aaliyah, revealing that on the last day of shooting in the Bahamas, Aaliyah had a bad feeling when she saw the plane that they chartered for her flight back, and she immediately told her team she did not want to fly. They tried to convince her to get on the plane. But Aaliyah trusted her instincts, got a taxi, and said she had a headache. But then, according to eyewitness Kingsley Russell, someone from Aaliyah's team got into the taxi with her and gave her a pill shortly after Aaliyah passed out. And he saw her being carried on to the plane. Kingsley said Aaliyah's garage, quote, took her out of the van. And she didn't even know she was getting boarded on a plane, end quote. Just let that sink in. It's as if Aaliyah had a gut feeling that something bad was about to happen. And she tried to protect herself, and yet these demons practically coerced her into a situation that led to her demise. And once again, no one who was with Aaliyah that day has provided a plausible explanation about what kind of pill they gave her. Why did they give her something that knocked her out so quickly? And why did they carry her onto the plane without her consent, especially after she said she didn't want to fly? Now, if we entertain the idea that this tragedy was orchestrated, who had a motive to eliminate Aaliyah? Well, according to Jaguar Wright, both Jay-Z and Vance could have benefited significantly from Aaliyah's absence. Allegedly, Jay-Z might have been pulling the strings behind the scenes, possibly using Hype Williams to convince Aaliyah to board that fateful flight to the Bahamas. And let's not ignore the uncomfortable truth that Jay-Z was BFS with R. Kelly, who committed unable acts against young Aaliyah. R. Kelly's disgusting behavior wasn't exactly a secret in the music industry, but a lot of people chose to turn a blind eye, including, it seems, Jay-Z. What's even more shocking is that even after learning about R. Kelly's actions, Jay-Z decided to collaborate with him on a joint album, Best of Both Worlds. And according to Dame Dash, this was the moment he realized Jay-Z had no morals or principles outside of his greed, and the karma happens. But the thing I didn't understand is I was like, I know I'm that, and because of the moral challenge and him choosing one way, I knew morally we weren't the same. So to me, Rockefeller was the front, it was over, I couldn't. It was something that to me was just like, not to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it, you know what I'm saying? And then I didn't understand how people didn't. I thought, well, then the people aren't going to have that. But nobody said nothing. And then there's also the fact that Mary J. Blige described Aaliyah's death as a spiritual interview. And now Mary, well, let's just say that she and